May we have roll call, please?
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. Our Director, Greg Zujuichi, is out of the office, so I will be acting as the Planning Commission Secretary for tonight's meeting. And so I'll start with a roll call with Commissioner Steve Sherman. Thank you.
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Jules Khan.
Present.
Thank you. Vice Chair Ronald Reitscher.
Present.
Thank you. And Chair Daryl Henderson.
Present.
Thank you. And it's noted that Commissioner Steve Langley is out tonight.
Okay, thank you. Item number 4, approval of minutes from the August 20th meeting. May we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the items from the August 20th, 2024.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Okay. Vice Chair Reitscher,
Yes.
Commissioner Khan,
Yes.
Commissioner Sherman,
Yes.
and Chair Henderson.
Yes.
Okay. Approval of the minutes passes. Thank you.
Item number 5, oral communications.
Okay. At this time, this is where the public may address the Planning Commission on items that are not on the agenda but limited to the Planning Commission's jurisdiction. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Any member of the public wish to speak to the Planning Commission? Please make sure that you fill out a speaker slip and submit to staff. Just one moment.
Hold on a second.
Hi, I'm Brandy Keith with the South Coast Air Quality Management District. Greetings to the council committee members. I just wanted to make an environmental update announcement. The South Coast AQMD offers a residential lawnmower and now lawn equipment program that offers rebates to any residents who would like to upgrade their older gas-powered lawnmowers or lawn equipment with new electric models. It was once that this program only applied to funding for lawnmowers. We've just updated it so it will now include other equipment such as battery electric leaf blowers, edgers, trimmers, and chainsaws. So residents who are interested can qualify for a rebate of up to $250. More information can be found on our website, or you can email AQMD at lawnmower@aqmd.gov. We do also have a commercial version of this program as well for any commercial lawn services who would like to look at upgrading their equipment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is any other member that's present wanting to speak to the Planning Commission? Okay, so there's no one else. And then noted for the record, we did not receive any public comments under oral communication.
Thank you. Item number 6, other items. Today, 6A, the third request for extension. Request for extension time for tentative parcel tract number 82410, subdivide of a 17,221 square foot property at 15906 and 5908 West South Manhattan Place, with creating 2 parcels in low density, multiple family residential zone.
Okay. Thank you, Chair Henderson and members of the Planning Commission. I'll be providing an overview of the request under agenda item number 6A. As the Chair explained, this is a request for an extension of time, a third request for an extension of time for tentative parcel map number 82410, which originally came before the Planning Commission back in 2019. It was for the subdivision of a parcel, one parcel into two equal separate lots in the R2 zone, as shown here in the photo on Manhattan Place. So again, explaining that the property or the subdivision map was for the equal subdivision of the lot of the property shown here into two separate and equal lots. Each are currently developed with a single-family home and a detached garage on each. As mentioned, quick background in regards to this request. The tentative map was originally approved by the Planning Commission in 2019. Later, through extensions, automatic extensions through the state's laws passed during COVID, and requests from the applicant for further extensions let the parcel map approval expiration date to cease of October 16th of this year. Thank you. Sorry, I'm going to turn around for a little bit. So the parcel map, the tentative parcel map, again, was approved by Planning Commission and is still active. The technical review of it gets reviewed by our either option, but this process for this map, it got reviewed by our engineering consultants, RKA. So the technical review of the final map was completed. They stamped off under the city's surveyor, and that's being prepared for final signatures by the city clerks and to go before the city council. Once that's completed, then it gets recorded with the county. And so once it gets recorded, then under the Subdivision Map Act and under the city's subdivision title, it's the project met its obligations in the approval from the commission's tentative approval of the tentative map. So again, just due to the time frames and the short time frames that the applicant has for recording, the next city council meeting will be of next week. In case there are any matters that come up and the map cannot be placed on the agenda for next week, the applicant has requested for an extension of 2 months. So to allow it the time, again, just to prepare for it to go to city council. So more or less it's at the end of its process. It's almost there. It's almost getting ready for for recording with the county. So again, the applicant has asked, is coming before the Planning Commission tonight to ask for a 2-month extension. Next slide. The extension request was not made part of the packet when originally published, but published on provided to the Planning Commission and to the public tonight. Again, the request from the applicant, who is present tonight, and may ask the applicant's representative from their engineering firm for representing the property owner. So staff does recommend at this time that the Planning Commission take this into consideration and approve the request by the applicant for the 2-month extension, again, to allow it to get to the City Council and for final recording with the county. At this time, if the Commission has any questions, or again, the applicant's representative is here to answer those.
Thank you. No questions? No questions for staff? Will the applicant please step forward, please? Maybe one of them have a question for you.
Yes, I have a speaker card filled out for Carl Reamer, so he'll be speaking.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Carl Reamer, DCA Civil Engineering Group. We're the representative for the applicant in this case. I'm going to read you a brief statement which hopefully will explain the situation, and then, of course, I'll be here to answer any questions you may have. As Mr. Kuna has indicated that the city parcel map approval for this project will expire on October 16th unless prior to that date, the city council approves the map. If that happens, the approval is vested. Yesterday morning, I was told by city engineering staff that they had signed off on the map and they would be taking it to the city clerk today to be scheduled before the October 8th meeting. The October 8th meeting, of course, is prior to the expiration, so there'd be no problem with that in terms of the project. With that, then, there should be no need for this extension. However, to be safe, we are still making this extension request should that council meeting be canceled. No one at this point expects that to happen, but if it did, the next council meeting would be October 22nd, by which time the map would have expired unless the extension is granted. In that regard, as an example, I would note that last month, the September 24th council meeting was canceled. So that's what we're trying to do to protect that date. The site has been under the same family ownership since the 1930s and is developed with 2 single-family homes. The parcel map, which is the subdivision, will split the property into 2 lots, which each lot to contain a single-family home, all of which will remain. There's no construction proposed. The owner of the site is the applicant, which are the adult granddaughter and grandson of the original owners. One of them is a substitute school teacher in the Torrance Unified School District. The other is retired. They're obviously late adult grandchildren. Their finances are limited, and the purpose of the parcel map is to provide them with the ability to sell one or both of the lots to regain some financial stability. Multiple extensions have been needed for this project because the applicant has had to proceed slowly, step by step, as allowed by their finances to get to this point where the map is in a position to record. They've had the map, of course. They've also had to do some drainage improvements to make sure one property doesn't drain to another. So this is a fairly simple project, but for them, it's a major thing. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. So the 2-month extension is what we're asking for, just to be safe that if the council meeting is canceled, that the map won't expire.
Okay, thank you. Questions? No question? No question? Okay. Oh, well, thank you. No questions this time.
Thank you.
So we didn't open, but we'll close the public hearing for this item.
This isn't technically a public hearing
okay.
matter. This is just another matter, that's
Gotcha.
being brought. But of course, if anybody is in attendance tonight, would like to speak on the item, they can feel free to do so at this time. Yeah. So noting that there's no other members of the public who are wishing to speak on this item.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the 3rd extension that's requested for 2 months.
A second. Roll call, please.
Okay. Vice Chair Reicher,
Yes.
Chair Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Sherman,
Yes.
and Commissioner Khan.
Yes.
So the motion passes for the extension for parcel map number 82410. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, 6B. 1818 West Redondo Beach Boulevard, the tire shop in progress report. And I will let staff take over from there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chair Henderson and Commission as well. I will be providing a short presentation on this. Again, just as a refresher. Next slide, please. Yes. So just a brief timeline of how we got here today. Again, for a site plan review number 4-15 was for site improvements for the property at 1818 West Redondo Beach Boulevard for the auto repair business at that location. Earlier this year, in January, the director issued a notice for revocation for the site plan review approval as the conditions were not being met. Later, the owner, representing the Tire House business, filed an appeal request to come before the Planning Commission, and that was brought before you in February. After all consideration of the evidence and testimony presented at that meeting, the Planning Commission directed staff to draft a resolution to deny the applicant's or the appellant's appeal and upholding the decision of the director to revoke site plan review number 4-19. So later, staff brought that resolution to the commission in April. However, after consideration from the additional information from staff and as well as the appellant on significant progress that was moving forward with improvements to the site, it was also noted by staff that the owner had made progress in cleaning up the property and removing all the tires on site. And therefore, at the close of that hearing, the commission asked for this item to be continued to the July 16th meeting. At that meeting, staff provided further information to the commission that further improvements had been made, and that the plans for the site improvements had been submitted to the staff. So at the end of the July meeting, the commission asked that the the item for consideration for the denial of the appeal be continued, and for staff to bring back a progress report. And so that's what's being brought back to the commission tonight. So staff with the Code Enforcement Division conducted an inspection of the site on September 5th, provided pictures which were provided in the packet. Next slide. You can click every 5 seconds or so. There's some photos that, again, were provided in the packet to show that the tires, again, had been removed. They were continued to be cleared from the side on the western side of the parking lot, so the business was accessible for vehicles to come in and out of the site, and that the racks were being properly stored, and the parking was, again, available for the business employees and those patrons. Later on September 26th, the Code Enforcement inspected the property once more, and again noted at that the improvements, however, as the permits showed, have not been completed or not had been started at that time. However, that the business continued to keep the parking lot clear of tires and to conduct business in the proper manner. And the other item which is noted by staff is that as of September 27th of this year, all permits have been issued by the Building and Safety Division to improve and comply with the conditions that were approved under the site plan. However, there is no construction activity that's been conducted on the property, and there's obviously no inspections that have been called for at this time. But again, that's as of last week. Staff does want to make the commission aware that the property owner did notify staff that they were unable to attend tonight's meeting. However, did wanted to provide the commission information in regards to their request to continue this matter on the motion for the denial to on the appeal, and that further construction would commence within the next few weeks, within 2 or 3 weeks. So at this time, and again, these are photos that show that the site is being continued to be cleared of the tires. Again, noting that the improvements have not been made. So the Planning Commission is being asked to take this report from staff, to review it for consideration, and either to discuss and to continue discussion on the decision to either uphold the director's decision to revoke the site plan review. So, yeah, so the next slide, please. So the options for the council today, for the commission today, is to, again, decide on the motion that was made at the previous Planning Commission hearing, again, to deny the appeal, or continue the the matter, to postpone, and to allow, to ask staff to continue to monitor the progress that is made. It's just noted that either of those options, there's no actual, action being made on the resolution, or either of these options, it will be discussed further at a different planning commission meeting night. Correct, yes, but for clarification, for the resolution that was drafted for denial, that is not being asked of the commission tonight to act on. If the commission decides to make a motion to bring forward that resolution again, it will be brought forward at a different hearing, so we could properly notice and make the appellant aware of this being brought back to the commission. Again, the other option is to continue this matter, direct staff to continue to monitor the progress that is made, and bring again before the commission another report.
Okay, thank you.
The question I have, because you mentioned that the owner of the property, he hasn't made his corrections, improvements, like with the trees, because I still see the trees inside of tires, instead of it being cut, the concrete cut, and having the trees planted into the ground. Because to me, to see trees inside tires, it looks tacky, to be honest. And so, is that what the landowner is addressing when he says he hasn't started it yet, and but he will, because that will greatly improve the look of the property as well?
So that's correct. So at this time, the actions that have been made by the applicant, the property owner, to meet those conditions by the site plan, which again were for the site improvement, which you have addressed the landscape requirements along the property frontage, the fencing, and the parking lot striping, and I believe it was the trash enclosure that needed to be constructed on the site. The first step is having the plans first submitted and reviewed by the Community Development Department, specifically for the Building and Safety Division, to review that it's in accordance with state regulations. And so they pass those, permits have been pulled, so they paid the fees to the city, but the improvements have not been made. So you're correct. There hasn't been digging out the concrete, cutting it out to then install planters and for the landscape. That has not been conducted at this time. But they do have the proper permits to begin that work. Noting from the property owner, they look to start that work within the next few weeks.
So, question to the city. Again, that I ask, is the city comfortable with the stages to which they are to do their upgrades? Well, and then let me add to that right here.
Okay. There you go.
9 years, 1 month, and 1 day to do what was required of them back on August 26, 2015.
So at this time, we do, the goal of the city is still, you're correct, to have the property owner meet those conditions, to have those site improvements completed. They have, made the progress. The first step obviously was the cleaning of the property. That was, finally, completed. The Code Enforcement Division, again, as shown on the photos, has been actively monitoring that to ensure that they continue to have the site clean and not bring back the tires the next day. So that's being prepared. So we do see that the property owner, the business, and it is noted from the previous meetings that it is under new ownership. than the previous, the business operator. And they have, again, on the business side of it, have continued to maintain the property in a proper way. So we do see that progress being made. So the next part, of course, is that the city wants to see are those site improvements. And so at this time, it's just noted that they recently pulled the permits. So they do have to wait for the contractor to, have them scheduled to come out, come down. But again, that's to the Planning Commission's discretion.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's taken 9 years for them to do this. Now, note that the owner of the property is still the same person. The person running the company had changed hands. So if it still goes back to the owner, he's still negligent. This is 9 years, 1 month, and 1 day of sitting there doing what it is. And to where it has really, as it be, the current manager, I feel really bad for him because he came into this situation, but because of the owner. I still think, me personally, I would say that to deny and go back to the revocation order because of 9 years, 1 month, and 1 day to complete this. It's just don't want to use the word absurd, but this is just completely bad on the side that even though they are and have made strides to do this, but now it's to the point to where is it now we're just being coy to the city to see how much they're going to be lenient to us to that part. But I still doesn't think, to do those things. I have my whole house remodeled in 90 some days with every permit needed to get done, and it's taken that to do the enclosure. Yeah, if they decided that that's how the landscaping was going to be, because it's when you look at it, that's not a bad thing for the tire theme to sit there and do that, but it still has to be something a little bit better. I just think personally that this just needs to be moved back to revocation of this, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree, kind of, because we don't want to have the owner think that, okay, everything's taken care of, and he just leaves the property the way it is, because it has taken 9 years. I myself, when I had plumbers come in and I had mowed, I got it done within 2-3 months. And for him, for 9 years, just to plant trees, paint lines, take care of trash, it is absurd. He was taking, to me, I would say I don't really want to say, but he was taking advantage of the situation. So I would say we still have to watch what's going on and have, check another 3 months to see if improvements have been made by the landowner. And if nothing has been done by that time, because he should have some permits where something is getting done, we'll just keep going until everything is taken care of. That's my opinion.
But then ultimately, if our motion is still going to come to councils for the final approval on this item anyway, correct?
So the decision was made by the director, and the request that came before the Planning Commission was the appeal. Yes, and you're correct. If the Planning Commission ultimately falls over the resolution for upholding the director's decision, your decision can be appealed to the city council if the applicant or the appellant wants to pursue that. Yes, that's correct.
There any other questions from?
Yeah, my question is, in case we deny the appeal, what's gonna happen? The owner gonna be still the owner, so it doesn't. There's no big change.
Well, we're not, we can't change the ownership, but it would only be to make a motion to continue or make a motion to deny the continuance, to go back to the original revocation order, to bring them back to sit their seat, and then ultimately it is still come back, because they can still be able to still do the improvements and sit there and see and all that stuff in the time frame before this comes back. Because just say, for instance, if the motion does go to deny, I mean, you got a couple more months and they'll still be able to get it done. But now, where are we in that? Where now is taken into 2025 to complete something that should have been done within 6 or 7 months ago. So I think we're kind of like in the, I think we might be in the middle of something, but to say we can't do anything to the owner other than let him know that yes, that as it be, his actions towards this project has been very negligent to that part. I mean, that's where, if that answers, the question, sit there and see, yeah, because I don't think there's nothing we can really do to the ownership or in the management there. It's just that, what we do for the motion, so.
So I think because based on they just indicate they just pulled the permit, so we can give them another 3 months and see if they start the work. Because if they just pull the permit, that means they're ready to do the work. So we have another 3 months and see what happens.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If he doesn't do anything in 3 months from today, then we would know he's trying to just skate. And because something should be done within if he plants the trees or if he paints, then we know that he's doing something. But like with Darryl, like what you said and what you're saying, it's been 9.5 years. And plus, when we revoked the license, he's had 6 months to do something. And we just hear now he's just beginning to do something that should have been done 6 months ago. So that's what I'm worried about. And I would say if he doesn't do anything with the extension of 3 more months, then we should revoke.
So my understanding is that if you give them the 3 months extension at this time, and when it comes back at that point, if you do not feel satisfied with the amount of improvement and the actions towards compliance, then at that point the city will move forward with the remainder of bringing the resolution back for approval.
Correct.
So then, Commissioner Sherman?
I'm fine for that. We were just talking about give him for 3 months and then see if he's going to what is going to indicate that he's actually doing something about So otherwise, then we deny.
Okay, well.
Yeah, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you this. Well, then I'll use this your analogy. 3 strikes you're out. This is the longest at bat ever.
Right.
This got to be the longest at bat ever for anything. So anyway, do we have a motion on this one?
I make a motion to postpone the adoption of the resolution for denial to continue monitoring the property for 3 more months.
Shall we add that after the 3 months, if he hasn't, then we will go.
We can add it, yeah, we can have it added in as the thing to the.
So that way he knows.
Okay, we have a second, and then we can add.
Okay, I second.
Okay. So I do just want to note within 3 months, so it'll be for the January, right? That's 3 months, yes. The January, the second meeting in January, the 21st, just due to the holidays in case. We'll have, yes, January 21st, this brought back to the Planning Commission for consideration as motioned. So
Would-
with that, I'll
would
do the
you-
roll call.
Which it'll probably push till, because that's is that the Tuesday before
Oh.
the Dr. King holiday, or would it after?
Yeah. So the options, we can ask the commission at this time. So the options would be for January 2025 meetings would be either January 7th, so that would be the second week in January, or January 21st. But as noted by Chair Henderson, it's the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so the city hall would be closed at that time.
Yeah, I motion to do January 7th, the first available time.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
So, did we get a second?
Yes, I second.
Okay. So the roll call, Commissioner Khan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wright Sure,
Yes.
Commissioner Sherman,
Yes.
and Chair Henderson.
No.
It's noted that the motion passes and the item will be brought back to the Planning Commission for January 7th. Thank you.
All righty, line item number 7, Community and Directors Development Report.
Okay. So again, Director Greg Zugiuchi is out of the office this week. So I'm sitting in for him for tonight's meeting and wanted to provide some updates to the Planning Commission. Go to the next page, Georgina, please. So first, just some updates on events, and I lost my notes. So I'm going to turn it, oh, here they are. So the first being the Harvest Festival that will take place here at City Hall this upcoming weekend. That's on Saturday, October 5th. And that'll be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So again, here at the City Hall complex, if any of the commissioners wish to attend. Oh, the canine. I believe you're right. The police department puts on a canine. I think it's yeah, I believe so. I'm quickly seeing. I think you're right. I did see an email come in regards to that, but I can follow back up with the commission on those details via email. The second is the following day is the Fur Baby Love Fest, and so this is an event that's put on by the city, and that will provide free services and low cost pet care services and wellness services. So if you have a pet, you can feel free to come down again here at the City Hall lawn. On October 6th, this Sunday, our Code Enforcement Division, our Animal Control Division will be in attendance and giving information about pet licensing. And some more directed information for the commission. There's an upcoming session put on by UCLA's Extensions course we'll be doing a step-by-step CEQA compliance. I know in the past we've had some commissioners attend, so did want to provide that option again this year to any commissioners who wanted to have staff sign you up and be in attendance. So again, just a 2-day seminar on the fundamentals of CEQA. So, basically all the stuff that we bring before you. So providing some sessions to get some, understanding of the process. That would be October 31st and November 1st. So Halloween day and the day after. There'll be a session. So again, if you're interested, please let staff know and we'll sign you up for that. And lastly, I just wanted to know, to the commission and to any members of the public, that there is currently a development, the Marine Place, developed by G3 Urban, as being that's currently being constructed at this time. It's on, and it was a project brought before the Planning Commission, which proposed 22 townhome units, 2 of them being for affordable. So those 2 affordable units are under construction, and the applications are currently out right now. So again, through the city's affordable housing process, there's within the first 60 days, we ask that the developers have applications and consider priority for those who either work or live in the city. So again, if anybody in attendance tonight or knows of somebody in this area who's interested, again, these are for ownership units for low income. So those who qualify can apply and submit their applications via email to the developers. And if there's any questions, staff is able to assist. And with that, that ends my report.
Thank you. Moving on to Environmental Planning Commissioners Report.
Regarding the construction of the low-income units, it looks like they're more expensive than the one normally. That's what I noticed.
So the income, the pricing that you're speaking in regards to the housing price. I think you're noting it correctly. I think in advertisement it was for this unit compared to the Normandy Place unit that the G3 Urban Developing Company just had recently closed on. The pricings have changed. And Rosemary can speak more to it as well, but the pricing is dependent on a calculation that's based off of the average median income in the LA County. Those tend to change from time to time. That's why there's always a note in here that amount is not set, because once closer to the closing of those units, that's when the numbers are calculated. But it's based off, I believe, of the 30%, the 70% area average median income at that time. And so that's how the housing prices are set. And that's, I believe, state law that determines that. And I think on this go around, I think they marketed it on the higher end of that, because of that spectrum. So just so to make it, those aware that this could be the potential price. But again, the pricing is not set until later. Yeah.
Okay. The second, I attended the Food and Wine Festival last Saturday, and it was a great event. Thank you to Cedar Gardiner.
I want to say I went to the employees reception, and it was great. And I won my bag for my computer. And the Food, Wine, and Brew Festival was fantastic. We found a couple of restaurants that we're definitely going to be going to, and the band was tight.
I'll just want to make a note that, yes, thank you, Vice Chair, Right Chair, for bringing up the Employee Recognition Day and being able to attend as well as our Commissioner Khan and for those who couldn't attend, but just again, our appreciation for your commitment to the city and for acting on the Planning Commission, it is recognized and appreciated. So thank you.
I have no report.
And I do not have a report, but I did not understand I'm not gonna say the complexity, but just the enormous size of the project on Crenshaw and El Segundo. I had really no idea that was going to look like that. Because the construction on the other side, it was. It was just there. And now as it in the neighborhood and you come out there and look at it, that is a very large piece of property that's going to be. And it looked like it's still going. So what my question was, what was the height of or how many stories was it, if we remember? I just couldn't remember. Because they're at 4 now. I think
they're halfway there.
Okay.
So I believe I recall it being 8 stories.
8?
I believe so. It mirrors the project you're referencing. Again,
Right.
is it's on Crenshaw, just south of El Segundo on the city of Gardenia's border side. It borders city of Hawthorne
Right,
in that
right.
area with this, if you want to call it, sister development project on the north end of El Segundo. Is I forget the building complex name, but it's right across from SpaceX.
Yeah.
It's same size. So it is, I believe, also 8 stories. Again, the project was for 265
I remember that.
apartment units.
I just remembered it. Because it was funny, and we're close. When you come into the subdivision, when it first started with the parking structure, I asked my wife, I said, what do you think of this? And she said, oh, I didn't pay attention to it. So now you see it with 3 or 4 completed stories. Now, what do you think to it? And all this stuff. And I said, you come in, it's massive. I just didn't know, because that is the first project on the north side that is there to see that being. But other than that, I welcome it, because it's going to bring all of the good things that we get of a small city with, big time problems and all that stuff that I enjoyed. But other than that, that was my report. So.
I think it looks taller. Area, so
You gotta hit your mic, so.
I thought we finished.
No, until we adjourn, we still.
Okay. The one on Houghton side, you have a SpaceX building behind, so you can't tell the height. But on Gardena side, because it's single family area, so because that high is showing, you feel like it's too big. Because when you're on the other side, you feel like it's in the neighborhood.
Right.
It blocks the whole thing. So
That's what I
Yeah.
said. But anyway, so we're good.
okay.
All right, so we are adjourned. It is 7:50.